Good morning and welcome to Nigeria Unfiltered, the program where we ask the difficult questions, challenge the status quo, and hold conversations that matter. Nigeria is one of the youngest countries in the world, yet millions of young people continue to grapple with unemployment, insecurity, poor governance, and limited opportunities. While many have become vocal advocates for change, others question whether activism is translating into real political and institutional reforms. Can the voices of young Nigerians truly shape the nation's future? Is the political system listening? And what more can be done to transform public frustration into meaningful democratic participation? To help us examine these important questions, we're joined by activist Sheriff Oladimeji. We'll take a short break, and when we're back, we'll jump straight into the conversation. This is Nigeria Unfiltered. Welcome back to Nigeria Unfiltered. We're joined by our analyst, activist, Sheriff Oladimeji. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Great to have you. Now, let's jump straight into the conversation. We're looking at the conversation of youth. Now, Nigeria has the largest youth bloc. In fact, with over 60% of the population under 25. But young people are not in power. We're still seeing the same recycled faces. What exactly and who keeps putting them there?
Firstly, I'm going to say the current situation we find ourselves in this country, is not giving enabling environment for young individuals below the age of 25 to participate in politics. And the reason is because of, number one, the resources you're going to be needing if you want to venture into politics. Nomination forms alone for House of Representatives from various political parties are not less than 2 million naira. And you have not talked about your campaign funds. You've not talked about your mobilization at the grassroots level and everything. So when you think of everything, if you don't have a political godfather who is ready to support you, you can't get there. And even most of this political godfather you want to choose, they are not ready to let you in yet. They still want to continue in the position of representing Nigerians. So that's why you have limited Nigerians.
So are you saying the system itself is keeping young people away from power intentionally?
Yes, intentionally.
So what are the solutions? What can be done about that?
The preferable solution that can be done about it is, to advocate for a bill that provides youth inclusion. There was a time they did a not too young to run bill under President Muhammad Buhari, which gave enabling environment to some individuals below 35 to contest for the office of the president. But that's not the kind of bill we need. We need a bill that is going to be advocated for only youth participation. Especially, let's say, example, a regional youth representative, whereby the persons who are going to contest for that seat must not be above 25 and let's say 30. And they should give like a convenient, conducive environment that the nomination form from whatever party should not exceed, let's say, 100,000 or 200,000 naira. If a bill like this can be pushed forward in the House and is being approved and passed, you're going to see a lot of youth representatives in the House.
So are you talking about a reserved type of seat?
Yes, a reserved seat for the youth.
Reserved seat for youth.
Regional reserved seat for the youth. At least let's have representatives from, let's have regional representatives from the South zone, the Southwest, the Southeast, like that. Even if it is 2-2 or 3-3, 2 for the House of Representatives, maybe 2 for the Senate. It's really going to, increase the number of youth participation in the House.
Let's talk about the 2023 elections. Itaobi got millions of votes in that election cycle. What happened to the majority of those votes, and what did the political establishment do to make sure that that type of massive energy never translates into actual power?
That one is INEC. He's left for INEC to answer. I was not working INEC, so I don't know what really happened with the votes Peter Obi had acquired. But INEC is an independent body that conducted the election, and they said Tinubu won. and they declared him their winner. So personally, I don't know what happened to Peter Obi, millions of votes. Honestly, I don't know. I don't understand that.
So would you say that it was a free and fair election?
Yes, it was a free and fair election.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, as opposed to a lot of reports and popular reports, in fact, stating that there were massive rigging in the elections in favor of the current president. I mean, alleged reports and all. Are there any confirmations on that from your end?
For me personally, I'm not going to agree with such thing, because if you want to say there was rigging, I cannot rig in your home. If I want to rig election, I will start from where I have crowd, where people know that I'm supposed to win. Actually, if the current president can lose Lagos State, where he resides, where he has been a governor from before, he could not rig Lagos State. So I find it difficult to believe that he rigged other states to get into power, because I could see the politics that play out when, he formed alliance with the current minister of FCT, Nyeso Wike, when Wike was being denied, the tickets at the PDP primary to represent PDP. But you see, forming alliance and knowing the right people to go with will help you a lot. People underrated Wike and everything, but you see, he delivered with his G5 governors. It was only this guy from Benue State, Autumn, who supported Peter Obi. So to me, I really don't believe or want to believe that maybe there was a rigged election, or it was a rigged election that brought in the current president.
So when you say Nyesom Wike delivered, then opposing political parties, how was this delivery achieved?
Yeah, so that is the game. The game of politics is that we don't have permanent friends nor permanent enemy. Negotiation matters a lot. If you are not being treated well in your family, and I call you over that, come to my family has this and this to give you, support me, I'll offer you such opportunity, and you know that you trusted me, you worked with me, and then I fulfilled my promise, and that's why Wike is the only opposition that is enjoying in this current administration.
So you're saying that there are opportunities for opposition to enjoy in an opposition party?
Yeah. There is, if there is proper negotiation.
So you negotiate with your opposition?
Yes, if you are being cheated in your home.
Okay, that's an interesting case. Let's look at activism itself. There has been a number of cases around activists being silenced or almost pushed to silence, with a lot of I would say persecution in lights. Let's look at the Sowore case, the Sowore issue, that he has been dragged over and over again from courtroom to courtroom. How has this affected the activism space in Nigeria?
Yeah, I think activism is something that must play out in any administration. Whether you are doing good, whether you are doing bad, they must criticize you. So, and with what the governments have been doing to Shore, the way they've been handling him and everything, to my own perspective, they are trying to tell other activists that, oh, if you go too further, this is kind of treatment you can get. So maybe you should stop advocating for this or that. But as an activist, you have to stand your ground. You have to say what you believe in, do what you believe in, and you are going to continue like that.
So is the government trying to restrict activists' freedom of speech?
Yeah. There were a lot of times I have witnessed the restriction. There was the case of this guy who spoke up for the military feeding. I think Mr. Watts. He was being arrested here in Abuja. I've forgotten his name. He was being arrested. So those kind of things is putting fear in the upcoming activists or people who believe in activism. Some of them will be having a second thought that let me just keep quiet. I don't want to say or talk about this thing. I don't want to be in prison. I don't want to be pushed around by DSS or police officers.
Well, that's an interesting case, because we look at the current government and we run a democracy system, right, where, like you mentioned, activists are being almost shut down to not want to speak up and speak on their rights. What does this say about the current democracy? I mean, if people are afraid to talk, if people are afraid to speak up, are we running a democracy or something else?
We are still running a democracy. As I've said earlier, you are the one that will refuse oppression. What you believe in, keep doing what you believe in. Keep speaking up when you believe or what you believe is right to be talked about it. The same thing has been happening. We've been hearing cases, they will arrest very dark man, but nobody has touched him yet because he stand his ground and he continued to do what he's doing, what he believes in doing.
Well, the case of Very Dark Man is one where he is quite a popular figure. I mean, upcoming activist, right? You can mention instances where you just see persons disappear alleged incidences like that. And that's quite a challenge. I mean, look at Showery's issue. Look at Showery's case.
Shure is even popular than Very Dark Man.
Yes, and he's being put in such a light.
Yeah, because Shure is making money from his own activism. He's being sponsored. He's making money.
How is he being sponsored? Who's sponsoring?
He has a TV. He has a lot of things he's doing to get the media engaged, to get the noise he wants. So that is what I believe. Shore's case is different. Everybody knows Shore is doing his own activism just to get attention, to increase his visibility, and to make his money.
So are you saying he's not a pure activist?
Me personally, I don't believe in his activism. I'm not going to lie. Like, I've never believed in anything he has been, talking about, because I don't even like the pattern of which he goes with his activism. Personally, I have my own perspective of, venturing into activism. There are kind of words you use. There are kind of times you have to calm down. Not everything is, shouting, proving, agitated or feeling arrogant against the government. There are some conversations that just need to be talked about, in a cool and calm manner. There are some that just need to be, recommended, maybe a written paper to the agency, then you come out and say, oh, we've written to so agency. Not that you pack crowd every day, you are here, you are this one, you are fighting this, you are fighting that. No. Those he criticized, Malami was part of those he criticized. There was a day he met him in court and he was like, Malami was having a court case with the EFCC, then he was like, we are here together, we are in the same courtroom, all those kind of words, He's trying to even buy Malami to himself, for Malami to support him, was trying to give him a cap and everything like that. So, me personally, I don't enjoy his own pattern of activism. Honestly, I'm not going to lie.
So you are telling me now that Showery's activism is like a means to an end?
I don't know, but me personally, I don't just like his way of activism.
Let's talk about the case of Prince Adeniyi and the challenges around that fake agency, in fact. Now, there are allegations that he paid around 400 million for a position to Gbajabiamila. And I would ask, how are youth expected to get into positions like that when that is an expectation for them to pay such huge amounts of money for positions in those spaces?
Firstly, he acclaimed the person he paid money to said he did not collect any money from him, and that's guys. I didn't know you right. His own case. Honestly, I have not logically understood how he was able to get his way to form that agency under the presidency and not being noticed till this time. Do you understand? So me, I don't believe it's because of the money he paid that they've been covering him or something. I feel like, there are people that are politically smart also that can just impute a data to an already signed or submitted data that could maybe have triggered them approving his agency without proper, awareness of Mr. President.
Approving the data?
Yeah, like I'm just thinking or saying that there are some instances where some persons are politically smart. When there are numbers of agencies that are new agencies, there are some that I've never heard before. This is his own agency. I've never even heard it before. So, maybe it was part of the new agencies that they were thinking of, that he just had to find his way around it. I'm not really sure, but I don't understand his own aspect of that agency fraud and payment of whatsoever amount to Femi Gbajabiamila.
Well, there are allegations, in fact, and it raises a question for, we're talking about youth, right? And his I would say he falls under that category, looking at him. And the the conversation around putting people in power or the youth, like you mentioned, a reserved type of seat where these spaces are far apart from young persons getting into them. And if this is a conversation where someone has to pay such huge amounts of money to get a position like that, that raises concerns, in fact, for the young Nigerian looking to venture into politics and such spaces. Now, I would ask, in this light, how can Nigerians put themselves more in this political space? Young Nigerians in that light.
Honestly, to be straightforward, yeah, if young Nigerians want to get into the political space, the one we currently are in now, they have to lobby their way in. And now there is rising figures of youth interested to dive into politics, right? So most of them believe in serving before they are being served, like maybe following an elected individual, rallying around some members of the House of Rep, the governor, lobbying for appointment like SA, SSA, to get all this little recognition. Then from there they can try to, find their way into the main positions. But looking at the PDP, the APC primaries election, even those that were already on the timeline, that already got the recognitions and everything, most of them lost the primaries. So it also baffles me if after serving, lobbying and everything, there are still individuals that can lose primary to just a primary election, not getting a ticket. Then how then are we going to get into those positions or get into this power? So my recommendation is like thinking of maybe the youths on their own should come up with another political young party made up of young individuals alone with clear vision of supporting their own, supporting ourselves to get into positions. That's what I just believe in. We have to come up with our own political party, young individuals alone, young-minded people, and push for whatever we believe in.
Well, that's an interesting take, I would say. However, wouldn't that be restricted by the conversation around, like you mentioned earlier, the campaign funding and everything? If it's only youth, how can they be expected to fund a lot of all these campaigns if we are creating a party?
Funding of campaigns and everything. They are still going to that's why I say the youth-driven initiative. We have youth that are well-to-do, that they can, be patrons or matrons and support the clear vision of people. You have people like the Abuja Cars, Cherokee Motor. They are young billionaires also in other spaces that we can explain and collaborate with and give appointment to as a matron and patron. If they believe in the vision of electing youths into positions, they are going to sponsor campaign. Campaign is a small thing.
There is the conversation around the grassroots movement and the grassroots structuring movement, and I would take this to a different light. Now, the APC currently controls around 31 out of 36 states in the country, and most of it is not even through elections. It's mostly defections from either PDP or one party all the way to APC. Now, what does this say about the current state of democracy in Nigeria when one party can absorb the major opposition without even firing a single vote?
I think it's the constitution that gave them such power to be able to move around. But the new electoral bill that was passed has already restricted someone who is in a political party to move to a political party. I think there's a time frame and there's a punishment for that. I think you will lose your current seat and you cannot change your party, I think, after 4 years. So they've made amendments of that. I don't think there will be such happening again. We wouldn't witness such defections like that again after the next election, upcoming election.
You're looking at it. Why would you say a number of these governors even defected in the first place? Are they trying to solidify their place in the next election, or is there a strategy around it?
Most of them are serving their single tenure, and they are looking forward to not have opposition in their states. Some of them were oppositions in the last election, and they won. So they they believe they just want to, come together and have no opposition in their state so they can get, a free and fair and like stress-free election in the upcoming election. That's what I just believe.
Well, that's interesting. Seeing as there were opposition that came in, wouldn't that also mean that another opposition can unseat them?
It would, but the strong opposition, we have opposition, we have strong opposition, and we have ruling party. So they were the strong opposition, and now they have joined the ruling party. So there is no other opposition that can unseat a strong opposition plus a ruling party. It's going to be a very difficult game to play to unseat them.
So you're saying it's more of strategy?
Yeah, it's actually a strategy.
To ensure that they stay in that seat for the second term?
Yes, stress-free.
Stress-free?
Yes.
Looking at this analogy that you made, strong opposition, and looking at the current presidential candidates, we have Tinubu, we have Peter Obi, we have Atiku. What are the nuances around the strong opposition, and what are the expectations coming into 2027 general elections?
As I earlier said, Tinubu is a ruling party, Peter Obi is a strong opposition, while Atiku is just an opposition. Expectation we should look out for is how the strong opposition can liaise with maybe the opposition to take power. But you could clearly see that none of them are willing to work together. And to me, they are just giving the current ruling party a walk-away election. Like they're going to be defeating the opposition and the strong opposition without stress, because their numbers are being divided currently. You understand? Those supporting the Peter Obi now, no governor supporting Peter Obi. That of Atiku, I can't even mention how many persons are on his side yet. And they are still battling court case. Court is still talking about restricting ADC from being on the ballot because of their faction, the faction of their party. So we might probably not see Atiku on the ballot. Maybe, who knows?
Are you saying this is more of an easy victory?
Yes, for the ruling party. Yes, it is more of an easy victory.
So the expectation is that Tinubu is coming again for the second term, and there's no one that can truly oppose him coming.
I don't think there's anyone that can oppose him coming, with the way the oppositions are still fighting themselves and not being positioned for the election. They are not prepared yet. I don't think they're prepared yet.
What would the right amount of preparedness look like for these oppositions?
Is coming together. Peter Obi wouldn't have left ADC. Atiku would not have contested for the primaries for ADC. That is what would have joined them together. They would have been only one force, not divided forces. So the ADC still have the belief that they can win elections. The NDC also have belief they can win elections. And they need each other, not division.
Well, we have seen that it's not party alone that wins elections. It's more of the populace, and it's the people that vote. And you mentioned earlier that Peter Obi is more of a popular opposition, right? And from the previous election, we had a strong amount of people come out and vote in that direction. And looking at the current state of the Nigerian economy and where it has been in terms of security, economic reforms, are these challenges enough to skew the direction of populist voters away from the current ruling party?
No, I don't think so. Because the current ruling party have gone ahead to secure the minds of most Nigerians. The insecurity, the economy, and everything we've been complaining about, it's actually affecting Nigerians to some extent, but that is not giving them a convincing logic yet that they need a change of government. Rather, it's singing that give time to this government and things will change.
So you feel the more consensus around Nigerians is that we want to see more of what Tinubu is coming out to do.
Yes, that's what me I believe in.
Okay, I mean, from your activism and whatnot, that has not been a point of concern around the Nigerians. This is still what they're looking forward to.
What?
I mean, I meant you do activism, right? And so I'm asking from the point of Nigerians, right, that you stand for. That has not been a point of concern around this current party and the expectations maybe for change or whatnot.
The expectation for change is already being visible. The change are beginning to take form, and economically, but the effect of change is felt by the citizen, not what is being, what is being seen maybe outside Nigeria or maybe on the stock market and everything. So, me, I still believe most Nigerians are patiently waiting to see more of what the current administration is doing.
Let's talk about the conversation around the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi,
Dave Umahi.
right? And I would say for a lot of other Nigerians in such a situation, they might have already been behind bars, if you would put that as a conversation. Now, and he spoke on the death of his nurse, Mary, and even the Nigerian Society of Physiotherapy saying that she's not a licensed physiotherapist, in fact. And the minister is also coming to say that she was assigned. What exactly is the divide? Why is there a challenge around those two conversations?
That of Dave Umahi and the nurse, I was just scrolling through my phone yesterday when I had a brief idea of what he was talking about. He was addressing the press that she was like a daughter to him. She stayed in his house for so long and everything. So I haven't really gone into details about what actually happened to her, how she died and everything. So I really don't have much to chip in on that particular topic. Yeah.
All right. This has been quite a conversation with Mr. Sheriff. Let's take a short break, and when we're back, we'll continue the conversation.